Managing people is not as easy as you may think. When I was growing up, I used to think that leadership was just telling other people what to do and having them do that thing. And you could get really good at telling other people what to do. But I learned that's far from the truth. I'm 24 years old. I have a video business, a creative agency based in New Jersey, and I'm actively growing my team. I have 2 employees, and I like to call them team members, not employees. There's been so much that I've learned along the way, getting them onboarded, getting them up to speed, going from a freelance videographer to a video production company, a creative agency that's serving our clients at a much higher capacity. And the shift was me doing everything myself. I was the bottleneck of the business, and I still am, right? And there's this process of relinquishing control that I had to go through. There was a couple really big hurdles that I had in going from solo entrepreneur to entrepreneur, and I still am, right? My time and my income is dependent upon the energy that I put into my business. So I have a glorified job right now, which I understand and I'm okay with. That's me working my way out of the rat race. But at the same time, I'm using this opportunity as a way to learn how to delegate tasks and responsibilities, how to set clear goals, reach those goals, and then continue onward and upward. And at the same time, to be able to lead people effectively. How do I get people to understand those goals and be able to act on them with their own initiative? So the problems that I was running into as I was making this shift was, one, everything lived in my head. Nothing was documented. As a freelancer, as just doing the videos myself and editing most of them myself, I didn't document anything. Yeah, I made it almost 2 years just doing my thing, and I realized that I had been doing my thing for 2 years, but there was no standard operating procedure, playbook, as I say, that show people how to do it. How do I share on Instagram? How do I market my business? How do I outreach to clients? How do I edit our brand story videos or testimonials? How do I take people through the pre-production process? These hows were never documented. These hows were just things that I knew how to do, which I internalized and I began to iterate on myself, but it was never something that I had really thought like, hey, I should teach somebody else how to do this. So that was number one, was documenting everything. And I'll get to it in a moment, but Dan Martell and Buy Back Your Time, his camcorder method has been absolutely game-changing in actually being able to document and delegate those tasks. The next problem that I was running into, my goals weren't clear. They were wishy-washy. And when you have unclear goals and unclear expectations for yourself, it is impossible to expect other people to be able to act on those goals at the same time. So in the beginning, a couple months ago, when I hired my executive assistant, my goals were unclear. My goals were very unclear. I said, the only goal that I really shared was I want to make $30,000 a month. And that's a very arbitrary goal. It doesn't really matter. And how does what my employees are doing, my team is doing, actually contribute into that goal? She wasn't sure. So I would get frustrated with when things weren't getting done in alignment with that goal. But the reason things weren't getting done is because I wasn't clear on why I had that goal or what else contributed to that goal. So I started to work backwards and I started to implement some of the EOS systems, entrepreneurial operating systems. And I'm by no means at a level to implement EOS, but I can take some of those principles and begin to employ them in my business. And the first thing that I employed was the 90-day rock. So we have a weekly meeting called our L10 meeting, and now I align exactly on those goals. I went through the next 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, and then 90 days. And I wrote out, what do I want? Like, let me architect my life. What is my wildest dreams in 10 years? And I worked backwards to be able to consolidate that down into 90-day chunks. So now those 90-day chunks have certain KPIs, key performance indicators, that I need to hit, that my team needs to hit, that our business needs to hit in order to achieve my goals, both from a personal and professional level. And our team is on board with that. And that has been incredibly helpful so that now the team can go and act on their own initiative. They understand they understand we need to get X amount of clients this month. They understand we need to hit this amount of revenue this month. They understand that we need to deliver this amount of videos this month. Corey needs to post this many times on social media this month. So when there's a number on everything with a clear goal associated with it, it allows people to act on their own accord. And that's been incredibly transformative as well. And the last problem that I was running into is I was managing tasks. And I started the video with that as I was telling people what to do. This is what I want. This is how you do it. But that's not really beneficial, right? Because why would I hire somebody and then tell them how to do the thing that I hired them to do? And Dan Martell has a really profound philosophy on this. It's much better to delegate the outcomes of the things that you want done and allow other people to problem solve and allow them to fill in the gaps, allow them to find out how to do it. You may be able to give them direction on, hey, this is how I've done it, but I don't care how you do it. And that idea of task management, right? I don't want to be a task manager. I want to be a visionary. Our ideas as entrepreneurs is we want to have an idea on this side and reality on this side. And we want to minimize, we want to consolidate the amount of time that ideas take to come into reality. And the way that we do that is not by doing everything ourselves. It's not by taking responsibility and saying we're the best one for the job every single time. It's by finding people who are better at those things than us, who enjoy those things more than us, who can deliver them much faster than us. And if we continue to try and do everything ourselves, if we continue to try and tell other people how to do things, we're never going to consolidate and bridge that gap between idea and reality. Because ultimately, I am a creator, and I undertake the label of creative entrepreneur. I'm essentially selling art, right? My creative agency, video production company, is selling art. We are selling brand films, we're selling social media content and ad campaigns. And yes, it is marketing assets, but it's art. It's art that causes people to make decisions for the business. So my overarching goal is to be able to have amazing ideas that earn myself and the people we work with a ton of money. And I want to consolidate those ideas into a short amount of time as possible. And there have been 3 books that have shaped what I understand about leadership, sharing our goals, and interacting with people profoundly. And we already touched on the first one, which is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And this book is the reason that I hired an executive assistant as my first employee to get all of the busy work off of my plate, which was the contracts, the invoices, the emails, the little mundane tasks that you have to do every day, every week, every month, but it doesn't really drive your business forward. It's the low dollar an hour tasks. So what I learned in Buy Back Your Time was how to leverage the money that I earn within my business to be able to purchase back my time and be able to reinvest that time into things that I love doing that earn me the most money. And that is what the most successful people have learned to do. And off of that point, the next book is Who Not How. I don't have the cover on this one, by Dan Sullivan with Dr. Benjamin Hardy. This book is tremendous in the actual delegation of those tasks, how to show people the impact of the work that they're doing, how to delegate not tasks, but delegate outcomes, and find the right people to help us achieve our dreams as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as visionaries. And this book really reiterates what it is that we desire most as entrepreneurs. And I've already stated that we want to be able to take an idea into reality as quickly as possible. But what that ultimately comes down to is having freedom, right? We desire freedom more than anything else, or at least I do. And if you're watching this video, you probably do as well. And we desire freedom of money, freedom of relationships, freedom of time, and ultimately I've found freedom of expression, which is what I'm doing here. And this book is a wonderful example of how we can find people to do the things that we need done that we don't actually want to do. We don't want to do these things, or maybe we're not the best person for the job, but somebody else loves that thing. Somebody else can do that thing much better than us. And we're doing ourselves and them a disservice by not reinvesting our time, our energy, and our money into others who can help us achieve our dreams, which ultimately are their dreams at the same time. And this book has been super profound. The last book that I will share here is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Cliche. You've seen it all over the place. But this book, I revisit this book at least once a year. I love the audio book of it as well. And this book shows how to interact with people, how to offer a smile, how to offer genuine and sincere praise above flattery, how to be able to lead with a compliment before you criticize people. It teaches us as individuals how to treat other people. And it's almost a manual for us to be able to easily make friends, easily lead people, to easily be likable and influential and impact other people in a positive way. Things simple like remembering people's names. Things simple like using their names and looking them in the eyes when we're talking and giving them genuine praise, like I said. Sincere appreciation is another aspect of this. And it allows us to be able to convey our vision in the most influential way possible. Because what all of this comes down to, what these three books ultimately come down to, is not that we are managing people. We are not managers. I do not want to be a manager. And if you started a business, you don't want to be a manager either. You started a business to solve a problem. You started a business to achieve freedom. And you do not want to be binded by managing other people's tasks and telling other people what to do. Ultimately, our goal is to set a vision, to set a goal, to document that goal and create a systematic approach to being able to achieve that goal and have our entire team, our entire organization on the same wavelength. And the idea of organization is an organization of people, of energy, of knowledge that goes to one end, that contributes to one overarching worthwhile ideal. And that moves me, that excites me, that inspires me to be able to know that my ideas are worthwhile, your ideas are worthwhile, and we as entrepreneurs, as visionaries, have the ability to put these plans into action, to create these organizations that bring those ideas into reality. And that's what this journey is about. And I'm 24 years old right now. I'm learning how to lead these people to that greener grass on the other side, to that greener grass, to that better future, to that dream that I have. I'm learning to help them help me help themselves. And it's all about the value that we can provide. We're providing value as we're paying our team. We're providing value to our clients. And the more value that we can offer, the more value that I can offer, the more return there will be, monetarily, influentially, all of it. I'm learning this process over time. This is not happening overnight. I'm still in the stage of self-employment. I have a high-paying job with a team that I manage people, and I'm actively working to step out of that role. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that I wake up tomorrow and everything changes, but it's something that I have recognized at the ripe young age of 24. So I know that I'm going to have 40 plus years, 50 years, 60 years to be able to put these pieces into place, to be able to build an organization that impacts the world positively, to be able to have people on my side, on my team, that are so dedicated to my goals, that are so dedicated to the vision that we've cultivated together, that they'll do anything to achieve them. And that's incredibly inspiring. And that's why I wake up every day and do what I do. So thank you so much for watching. This has been my journey of hiring my first couple of employees, and the things that I've learned, the lessons that I've learned about leadership, and I'm never going to stop learning. So I am documenting my life, my journey of entrepreneurship here for you. So thank you so much for sitting and listening with me. Click subscribe, check out the channel. There's a ton of other videos on philosophy, self-awareness, entrepreneurship, and the overall, just the journey of achieving our dreams and living out our fullest expression as human beings. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me. So much love, so much peace, and I'll catch you on the flip side.